right, so I asked Peyton. I'm not going to let this go.
Oh, no.
I asked Peyton to go and get the clip from Mike McCarthy at 6:30 this morning.
Yeah.
When I asked Mike, is it time to turn the offense over to Dak, turn the football team over to Dak versus your defense, run game, possession limit, turnovers? The way that Dak Prescott has been playing over the last 3 weeks, the numbers speak for themselves. He's been basically the best quarterback in the NFL. Here's Mike talking about the identity of the Cowboys.
Well, I don't really look at us as defense, run the ball, don't turn it over. I mean, I think those are variables you have to have within your football team. I think clearly, we want to score more points than anybody. We want to keep their points down, but I think it's how you play was what we emphasized coming out of the last off season, and that was the ability to, be more efficient offensively, take care of the ball better, make sure we're maximizing our opportunities. Our time of possession points to that, so that was something I felt that we really need to improve on. Our ball security is better. We're still taking it away at a top level. So make no mistake about it. We still want to be an aggressive offensive attack. I think the head coach is an offensive guy too, so I think we do want to be a little more open there.
So Mike is changing the script because multiple times this year he said defense leads this team, and that's basically the identity, and we want to run the football as well. It happened. It's a reality. Now the most important thing is, how is McCarthy going to approach it moving forward in this second half of the season? That's the most important thing. This other stuff is kind of, semantics in terms of what he said, what he didn't say, what are they changing it to, what are they going to do?
It's interesting because the question becomes, what you've seen the last 3 weeks, is that what McCarthy's done, or is that what Dak's done? Is that Dak saying, I'm taking control of, not obviously the whole offense. I'm not saying he's out here designing the entire offense and calling all these plays, but there have been several instances. We take the 3 running plays or the run pass that caused the punt on the first drive. The very next drive, 3 straight dropbacks Dak ran on 3 straight ones and picked up the first down. And so how much of it is just Dak is saying, I'm going to take control where I can take control, and I'm going to do those things, versus, is this what we've seen the last few weeks? Is that McCarthy's plan? Or has Dak taken control of that?
Right.
That's something that we just don't know.
And what would that mean? I would love like a coach or player insight. So if Dak's going up to the line of scrimmage and he's like, I'm doing this, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm going to kind of go through the 3-step, 5-step drop, not going to have anything there, wink, and then I'm going to freelance? Is it changing the play at the line of scrimmage? I'm very curious to know what that actually means. Is Dak doing it? Is he like, okay, I just didn't see it on the second read, and now I'm going to roll and find something?
Did you think it was funny, too? One of the other answers he gave us, there were 2 things that I thought were a little revisionist. That one, and did you think it was interesting where he was talking about, like, I don't remember which question we'd asked him, but when he started explaining, he's like, well, I mean, yeah, if you're like other teams in the league and you're really regimented and you're really like, you're really tight on your details and there's no ability to kind of like work outside. It's like, that's exactly what we've been talking about, the concepts you've been installing, where that it was all tied to this footwork that's in sync with the receivers and it's all perfect timing. It feels like there's a little bit of shifting on some of these things.
I mean, again, like we always go back to Rodgers. Like, did Rodgers run the same system? And if the answer is yes, he obviously didn't. He wasn't a robot. Just because you're in a 3-step drop and you're in a West Coast system, it's all about timing. It doesn't mean you have to be robotic every time.
You know what I think it is, though, is honestly, there's a difference between Aaron Rodgers being in year 12 in that system and Dak Prescott being in week 3, where anything, if we were to, let's say that we had just got these jobs here and we were just starting to deal with,
like you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, honestly, like where I get on the show, I probably handle things differently in my prep and the way I talk about things on the air than I did the first month. The first month, you're just going, all right, everything by the book, whereas you start figuring out, okay, what is actually necessary by the book versus, hey, this is a suggestion, but, put your own flavor on it or, like, your own spin. That's the kind of thing that I think those first few weeks, Dak was trying to figure out what is able to be tweaked. What can I do? What can I find out just through experience is something that I can take into my own hands.
What is the league seeing for the Cowboys in the second half of the season, RJ Choppy?
All right, so we've got what NFL execs are saying. We've got some bold predictions, and then we've got some questions about each of the quarterbacks. Let's start with the execs here on this one.
By the way, before we get to that, give me and Tolo's as well here. Give me the Cowboys' first half of the season grade. 877-881-1053. They're 5-3. First half of the season grade.
I would
7.
say
That's not a grade. What school would you go to?
that's a
What?
that's a number.
McKinney?
Midlothian. Okay, that explains
yep.
it.
I know.
That explains
that
it.
makes sense. Tolo Chad's from out there. I asked for a grade. I got a 7 here.
Let's see. I would give them a B-.
Okay.
They had some very impressive A games. They had some very C, D, F, like the
Arizona
game was an F.
San Fran.
San Fran's a D.
C. They've been, I think they've been exactly average. They have won the games that they're supposed to. They have not surprised you with a victory this year yet. So the games that we measure up and we go, okay, are you the best team in the NFC East? Or have you gotten, have things returned to where you've passed Philly? Are you able to beat San Francisco? Those tests that we were wondering about have failed to this point. So I would say you can't give them, to me, more than a C at this point.
All right, let us know on the truckright.com text line. I just want to see if you want to throw out a number, like old Midlothian over here, we can do that as well. Oh, C. Oh,
70.
He called me a dummy.
Oh, yeah,
he goes,
I see what you did
C?
there.
You don't realize C's 70? So,
Sounds like my kid's report card. Bunch of C's on it.
Overwhelming C- to C+ on the truckright.com.
Tough grader, man.
There's a little bit. The highest grade I've seen so far is a B+, and that was just one from the 972. But C, still proving they can't beat playoff teams, says the 702. You've got 940 says B, only one unexpected loss. 972 says C-, San Francisco exposed them.
I'd probably go B- with Choppy, C+, B-. I can't give a grade higher than B-.
I can't either. I was going with the highest possible grade I could give. That is the highest possible grade I can give.
All right, what about the rest of the league?
All right, so the NFL execs went around and were talking about picking each division, all the wild card races and such. And one thing they said about Dak in here, I think rings very, very true. Quote, it's hard to find a hotter quarterback in the NFL than Dak Prescott. 950 yards, 8 TDs, 1 pick since week 7. Bobby, what week are we in now?
We are in week 10.
Okay, so 950 over the last 3 games, 950, 8 TDs, and 1 interception. However, on the flip side of that, the quote from an AFC scout, it just feels if CeeDee doesn't catch 14 passes, they struggle to outscore teams.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Absolutely fair.
It is fair.
Dead on and frightening.
But that's also, I would respond to that by saying, like, to me at this point, I've gotten to the point where I don't think that's a ridiculous ask of CeeDee. I think CeeDee is very capable every time going out there catching 12 passes.
He's capable, but you shouldn't live that way. It's too dangerous. It's way too dangerous. What happens when he gets double teamed?
Yeah.
What happens when he gets completely taken out? You're screwed.
I don't know that he's. I don't know that he's. I think he's becoming a guy that you can't just that easily take him away.
So you want to sit here and talk about 12 catches a game for CeeDee Lamb? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
I think he absolutely needs to be targeted minimum 12 times a game.
Yeah, we're having different arguments. You're talking about his capability, which no one's disagreeing with. I'm talking about like the reality of winning. Should they target him as much as possible? Yes. Other people have to get involved, man. Other people have to get involved besides Ferguson. Get another receiver in the conversation. Someone's going to not let him beat them, and it feels like now we're screwed.
But I mean, I guess that's the thing that we need to find out. And I'm not saying he's Randy Moss or anything like that, but that has been a pattern of success for dominant receivers before. Of just like it's gonna be Brady to Moss, it's gonna be Culpepper to Moss, or it's gonna be this receiver here. Justin Jefferson is the entirety of the offense. Like, just feed Justin Jefferson. He will do it no matter if you're bracketing him, no matter how you're trying to take him away. He'll make plays. CeeDee definitely feels like he's becoming that guy. Calvin Watkins asked him after the Rams game, had said something to him about, hey, how does it feel like playing more outside, like getting the opportunity to play outside, given that you've been a slot guy, blah, blah, and like CeeDee stopped him down, and he's like, I'm not a slot receiver. He's like, I play everywhere. I'm not a slot receiver.
Jerry Jones texted the program in the Trucker to Come text line.
Oh,
he did.
He said,
I didn't know Jerry knew how to text.
well, I don't know if this is true, if it's Jerry or not, but I'm guessing it is. Cowboys get an A+. You're only looking at football. We lead in merchandise sales, sponsorships, and TV spots, and franchise value.
thanks for checking in,
So,
Bassett.
Jerry, I appreciate you texting in that one. And then an idiot texted the program from the 817. This is Shock Jock Radio. How unfair. No other team is judged by only playoff success. Listen to this.
Hold up. We got the fan beanies in. Roll on up. Roll on up for all the Tolos.
Look at these scavengers. Look at this.
Y'all. No,
look at this.
Not scavengers.
Look at this. This is chum. That's what this is. This is chum right here.
It's got to be
Look
like
at
Thank y'all for coming out, for real.
you got to do it.
appreciate
What's
y'all.
up, T. Rainey?
Now, look.
Well, you
where's
got
T?
Midlothian got two.
Where's T?
I just talked about
Midlothian got two.
T got me my sound
you go.
system. He's got to get one. He got me the hookup. Here you go, young lady. Thank
There
you
you
for
go.
coming out. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bobby's drinking
He
partner
got
at
two
high
of
school
them.
games.
He got two. I mean,
Not
Well, I
two.
didn't get two.
Not two.
No, we
Don't
got-
kick out two.
There we go.
These are the ones that are going to be left up here. So thank y'all. Sorry, we just had the explosion. You're out here.
Look at it. Everybody puts them on right away.
Right away.
Well, it's 30 degrees.
Beautiful.
It's freezing outside.
It is 30 degrees. They
It's
absolutely
freezing.
deserve that.
All right, so here's the other one. Shock Jock Radio. No other team is judged by only playoff success except for the Cowboys and Dak.
What?
Regular season success gets downplayed by the media with unfair expectations, Super Bowl or nothing.
Oh, my God. Is that from RJ Choppy?
Herbert, Allen, and others receive praise for mediocre play every year. No one says the Cowboys will be undefeated.
Thanks for waiting.
I'm sorry, sir. Have you heard the name Peyton Manning? My gosh. All right. Yes, I agree. I agree. Judging by playoff success is unfair. But it's how it's done.
And there is a point, like.
It's 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. And also, like, we're going on, what, is this year 4 for Mike?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like,
Just go. Name me the NFC teams.
and Mike would tell you, it's about championships. That's all it's about.
Name me the NFC teams since 2002. Just do 2000.
Okay.
Name me the NFC teams since 2000 who have not made a Super Bowl.
Oh, gosh.
Washington.
Washington, Dallas.
Dallas, and Detroit. Is there any others? Can you think of any others?
Minnesota.
Chicago.
Minnesota.
made one.
Oh, Chicago made one. They made Rex Grossman.
Minnesota.
Yep, so Minnesota. Atlanta made one.
Since what year?
So just use 2000. Atlanta made one. Carolina made one.
Saints have made one.
Cardinals made
Tampa.
one. Yeah, so
Cardinal.
it's Minnesota. Then it's Minnesota, Dallas, Washington, and Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it
It's a
gets
league company.
it gets even more depressing when you do since do it since 2007,
Yeah.
and all you're losing out of that is Carolina.
Yeah.
It's a depressing number. So yeah, it's not just about championships and stuff, but my gosh, once in 30 years, like you can get one. That's tough to see.
But also for Mike specifically and his grade, we're not just talking about the playoff because they've lost to the same team both years in the playoffs. It has been about how they've matched up against the team over the course of several games. It's not just a one-off.
Another comment from an NFL exec. The Cowboys are close. They just can't seem to win those got-to-have-it games. They'll be a threat in January, but they've got too much firepower on both sides of the ball to not be there.
Dead on.
Dead on.
Little things. It's the details. That's what it always is with this football team.
And then the fact that the Eagles is here they are again, just 8-1, just ho hum. Here we are. Okay,
It is a very ho-hum 8-1.
Sports Illustrated, the bold predictions for each team in the second half. For the Cowboys, the jury is still out after an up-and-down start to the 2023 campaign. I believe the final ruling will be favorable in Dallas, but not enough to win a division title or a Super Bowl. But I could see them getting to 13 wins and still not winning the division, the NFC East. That machine that is rolling in Philadelphia is tough. It may be out of reach. But Mike McCarthy's offense should look more efficient than it has thus far. Cowboys finish second in the East, lose in the NFC Championship game.
If they lose in the NFC Championship game, are we okay?
Yeah. Well, no.
Yeah.
Who do they lose to? If it's San Francisco, we're not okay.
I think after a while, doesn't it just don't you just Pedro Martinez? tip your cap and call him your daddy and move on?
Yeah, you do that. You move on. That's
No,
what,
no,
but that's what you do. You move on from your head coach if you lose to San
If
Francisco
your
3
coach
years
has
in a row.
gotten you to the NFC Championship game, a place you had been 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who he loses to.
They care, I think, a great deal. That's it. We talked to Jerry Jones at the halfway point, and Sean had asked him, like, hey, what's kind of your assessment? We were weeks removed from it. They were coming off of a victory or whatever it was, and the first thing that came out of Jerry's mouth was San Francisco again. Well, they was disappointed to lose San Francisco.
Tough.
It is from I cannot recall from top down, management down through like the equipment manager or whatever else, or all these players. I cannot remember an organization as frustrated and so focused on another team as the Cowboys are on the 49ers.
That's fair. Finally, on Dak's contract. What do you?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Peyton has just texted me. He found the McCarthy identity answer from before. This is the Friday. Is this with us, Pepe?
Yes, this is with y'all.
This is the Friday with us before San Francisco on the Dallas Cowboys identity.
Well, I think it almost goes hand in hand because you're always trying to develop your roster to fit the play style and the identity of your football team, and I think that's clearly been established here in my time. You just look at the commitment to the defensive front, the last 4 years, and boy, we've been so fortunate, with veteran acquisition, with the safety group. So, it's more about how you want your team to play, staying true to your profiles, which I think we do an excellent job of, and with that, it's a good plan. It's been in place for quite some time, and when you hit the mark there, it gives you a chance to be the team you want to be, which in essence should take care of any rival.
So he wasn't talking. He didn't mention run game, time of possession, controlling turnovers, but he said it repeatedly.